welcome to the Zadzooks Happy Hour, a podcast providing commentary on the latest in film, TV, games, and comics. My name is Todd Stoll, and I'm joined by 25-year veteran reporter covering pop culture, video games, and technology for the Washington Times, Joseph Zadkowski. How goes?
How goes?
Yeah.
You have an agnostic T-shirt on tonight?
Yeah, I had to judge or run the computers for a swim meet, so...
So you couldn't wear any type of...
It has to be a white shirt, although this is just the undershirt because I spilled something on the actual white shirt.
That's fascinating. So you can't have any type of promotional advertising on your shirt or any type of message like Black Lives Matter or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. I think they might frown on that. They yelled at me. They yelled at me for wearing jeans. I had to buy blue pants, and blue pants make me feel like I'm in my 50s. I don't really know that many people who wear blue pants.
Do you have to wear a weird hat or anything?
No.
Goggles?
No,
nothing?
just white shirt, plain white collared shirt and blue pants.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's great.
That's cool.
I guess.
All right. It's not that cool, but...
No, it's not. I had a nap today, though, which was lovely. I feel really recharged.
I'd still be napping if it wasn't for this nonsense you keep making me show up to every week.
Come on. You know you love it.
I love it. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Well, we talk about
batteries.
We talk about the Super Bowl first.
Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day candy.
Hey man, it's for my kids.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
well, this will be easy to talk about.
So okay, who you picking?
I think it's going to be the Patriots because I want in my lifetime to see a quarterback win 6 Super Bowls. That's why and even a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to see Jordan do it. He won 6. Phil Jackson won 12, maybe. 6 with the Bulls, 6 with the Lakers, right? Or am I wrong?
Something like that. I don't follow basketball as much as I probably should.
So this is exciting.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are sort of the Yankees now, where everybody hates them because of how much they win.
Right.
But let's not forget Pittsburgh. I think still has more Super Bowl trophies than any other team. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Steelers. Yeah, definitely.
I like the Steelers. I remember those days. Lynn Swann.
Yeah, I just sort of feel like
Franco Harris.
Maybe it's time for Roethlisberger to step back and retire. He looks
getting
slow.
tired.
He looks slow.
Right.
I have a lot of friends who are Philly fans. And,
I do too.
And I could, it really could go either way. But I just think I hate Super Bowls that are blowouts. And I
don't see how it could go either way. Belichick had 2 weeks to figure these guys out. This is not going to be hard.
And everyone is healthy on both sides.
Right. So
I just even like, let's say the Patriots do win. I will turn it off if it's like 30-0.
Right.
30-3.
Right.
I mean, granted, I think a lot of people did last year, and then look what happened. But
yeah, which means I won't turn it off.
And I know you're really excited about the halftime show, right?
There's a halftime show?
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, well, that's gone.
I can't believe they brought him back after all these years with the whole Janet Jackson issue.
That tells you how much talent's out there right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're putting Bon Jovi in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they can't do it, apparently.
Why, they're busy?
No.
That would have been a good...
Because they're not relevant, apparently, at least for the masses. Oh. Justin Timberlake is where it's at. Ugh.
That's depressing.
So what do you think the spread's going to be? Going to be just a blowout?
Oh, I know. I think they're going to win by 10 points.
So like 30-20?
Yeah. It'll be a reasonable game.
Everyone says it's within 3.
Really?
Like 27-24.
Okay. Well, then it'll be worth watching.
24-21. Yeah. I mean, even Madden, they have that Madden simulator.
Even Madden. Well,
showed the Patriots winning.
Okay.
They had a giraffe that picked the Patriots. I mean, this is really stupid. Next thing, I'm surprised they didn't bring the groundhog out and be like, all right, you didn't see your shadow. Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Do we know if Jimmy Fallon's Puppy Bowl predicted the Patriots? I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the results, but I know they had it.
Okay.
I mean, whatever.
All right.
Okay. Well, you bestowed upon me
some good stuff.
That is subjective, I guess, to that. So you asked me to screen A Bad Mom's Christmas, but since I had not seen the first one, I felt I needed to do a service and screen the first one and then A Bad Mom's Christmas.
Yeah.
And boy,
3 hours you're never going to get back.
Boy, those were rough movies.
Now, why so? I don't think they weren't.
Listen,
they weren't gut busting funny.
I actually really liked Mila Kunis's, character. Right. I thought she did really well. Kristen Bell seemed underused. She seems very funny in real life,
right? And
she seemed kind of underused. And Kathryn Hahn, that was over the top.
Yeah,
and I would love to have that toned down a little bit. But then the whole Christina Applegate, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Annie Momolio.
Well, what's the plot
of Bad Moms?
Yeah, you're throwing
of the original one. I mean, the plot is that they're tired of being tied to their kids and having to do everything for them and not have a second of time to themselves. They're sick of being bullied by the PTA president and being told what they have to do, and they decide they're going to be bad moms, and they start getting drunk and throwing parties and just in general screwing off.
Right.
All while the main characters going through a separation, and it ends up culminating in a battle between the main character and Christina Applegate's character for PTA president.
Okay.
And I made it to the point where Applegate's character is crying in the car, and I said, this is really stupid, and I turned it off.
Okay. Now, did you fare any better with the second one?
The second one was unnecessary.
Well, of course.
Because the first one...
Okay, it was necessary because the first one killed at the box office.
Not really. It made like $150 million.
And what did it cost to make?
I don't know.
It was like under 20 to make, like 10.
But I know, but the reviews were so bad for the first one.
You're not watching. If someone invests, if I gave you $10 million and you handed me $128 million back, what would you do? How do I get more of that?
I'd probably go to jail for money laundering.
Right. What? But, it'd be, how can I get more of that going?
And I can't believe that the second one made just about as much as the first one.
That's right.
Which sort of frustrates me.
And I think the three moms in the second one, the older moms, were pretty funny. Christine Baranski, Susan Sarandon, and Cheryl Hines from Larry David.
Yeah.
I had some actual laughs. I laughed
I didn't.
in some of those movies.
I didn't.
Some of that.
I didn't.
I didn't.
You know what? I felt like this is a rehash of many...
Oh, it is.
Like many different movies. And I just... Again, like, these female actresses... These actresses are just... They're so talented.
Bridesmaids opened up the door to this. Right?
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah. But it's sort of like Bad Moms. You have Bad Santa. You have Horrible Bosses. I mean, you've kind of got this genre, like, bloated. And it's just, these actresses are really good. And I just feel like this could have been pushed so much further. And it could have been really amazing. Both of them. Like, they really could have taken it, like, many steps, like, really pushed the envelope with it. And it would have been great. And I felt like both movies tried to have this, like, sweet and sensitive, like, hug and kiss thing, relationship with these kids. And there was, like, all these problems. But then they're also, like, crazy and silly and goofy and just all over the place.
Well,
and
correct me. Oh, yeah. So the thing that's interesting about this movie is it's female. It's a female movie.
Yeah.
It's showing females living life and struggling and having fun.
I didn't have any problems with that.
I didn't either, except for the fact that it was directed by
a guy.
Two guys.
Yep.
And written by two guys.
Yep.
Who, frankly, don't have any perspective on any of the proceedings.
I think
so. If there's any tragedy to these movies, it's the fact, especially in the Me Too era, and the women not getting recognized in cinema. It's the fact that two guys felt that they could talk for moms.
But don't you think that's why Bridesmaids was so good? Because it was written by a woman?
It probably. I think, yeah. Now, am I wrong here? Can you read the back of that? Is it directed by who?
A film by John Lucas and Scott Moore.
Okay. Did they write it too?
Edited, production design, director of photography was a guy, executive producers. All guys.
I know you think we'd figure this out before it went on.
Oh, no. Mila Kunis, the only female executive producer.
Okay.
Written by John Lucas and Scott Moore.
Okay,
they
so
wrote
I
and
rest my
directed it.
case.
That's the holiday one. Did they do the other one?
Of course.
Yes, they did.
They're not going to turn down that cash.
No. And again, executive producers on this one, all guys.
Right. So, really, how ridiculous.
This is just sort of like the female version, not even like of The Hangover.
Right.
But it's just like there was something about it that just seemed very familiar. And it was, again, it's one of these things where it's just like Ghostbusters. You have a very talented female cast.
Right.
And they blew it.
They don't know what to do with them.
They blew it.
Right.
And it's like, how can you do this? Like, these women could have literally done so much, and the whole premise just seemed like, oh, it's a mom who's struggling. It's like there are single moms and women every day who are amazing people, and you're basically making everybody to seem like they're a victim.
Typecasting.
I know. It was just, it was sad. I don't know. Again, it's a guy talking, so, women may have a different perspective here. I just personally didn't find it very funny. I thought it was very kind of unoriginal. And that's where I just got bored with it, because I was like, I feel like
Did you even get through the second one?
Yeah, I mean, I will say I don't think I paid that much attention to it.
Right.
Because I sort of felt like it was a continuation of the first movie.
Right.
Just now set during the holidays.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I wish they had done something different with it, because it just seemed like at times they were wasting the actresses' times. I'm sure that they didn't feel that way, and they got a nice paycheck out of it. But
sure,
it's kind of a bummer. I mean, I know it made good money, but I know if you go back and look at the reviews,
the reviews were terrible.
They're pretty terrible,
right?
And I don't disagree with that. So for my overall, I guess if I were to lump the two together, they're kind of in the like C- D+ range.
Yeah, I'd give them like a B-.
Okay. Yeah, you had
there were some chuckles.
You maybe had a different experience than I did, but
right.
I was sort of.
I was sitting next to a woman while I was watching it too. She chuckled a few times, but wasn't overall.
But what did she think of it?
Thrilled by it.
She thought it was sort of a waste of time.
It was, she appreciated that there were three older women in the roles of the mother in the second film, and they did. She liked them. She actually liked the three castings. So
I actually thought the funniest cast member in the first one was the friend that really seemed always super oblivious to everything.
Right.
And she was really funny.
Right.
And they didn't really use her for anything.
And I thought, once again, Christine Baranski was very funny in the second movie. She got good dialogue.
She's great.
She was playing,
She's coming back to Murphy Brown, man.
The stuffy... And she's on the sequel, The Good Wife, and you can only watch it...
On CBS All Access?
You
mean the thing that no one watches?
Yeah, the one that has Star Trek on it.
Never seen it.
How exactly do you get to that?
You have to buy it.
No, ain't
you have to do it through their CBS app.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't believe they're bringing back Murphy Brown.
Why not? They brought back Will and Grace. Have you watched a new episode?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
I heard it's not bad. They got renewed.
Right. Yeah.
X-Files is pretty good. But again, they didn't need to redo that either.
Right.
Okay, we come back.
Wow, that is just scintillating.
We come back. You'll talk probably more about Jigsaw than I will.
Yeah,
I think I got confused. So stick around.
We'll be right back.
Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
Okay. Hey.
So,
Jigsaw.
I told you, great movie. You got to watch this. So, what do you do to me? What'd you watch? 5 minutes?
No. I watched it, but
to where?
I went through the whole thing.
You got through the whole movie?
Yeah, I just was very confused because it said Jigsaw, the game continues. And I was like, what am I missing?
So, first of all, have you ever seen a Saw film in your life?
No.
Okay, well, there's your first problem. So...
I told you, I don't really like horror movies that much.
No. So anyway, this is I'm trying to confirm this. This is the 8th film in the Saw series. Now, mind you, if you don't know anything about this, I'll give you a little bit of background. So the first movie, Saw, was directed by James Wan, who's the guy who's responsible for either Insidious or one of these other very popular horror film franchises. Saw was fantastic because what it did was it kind of revived Dr. Phibes. Do you know what Dr. Phibes is with Vincent Price? It was about a guy, an actor who was wronged by a group of individuals, and this actor who is horribly disfigured takes his revenge cleverly on these individuals. Like one guy will get stuck in a car and he gets attacked by locusts inside the car and gets killed. Clever kind of traps that involve people getting killed. So that's the premise of Saw. So what this guy does, this Jigsaw character, is he finds individuals who have had a crime against humanity or something. They've wronged somebody, their husband, their mother, and he puts them in a room, and then he plays a game with them. And this game always involves some level of torture or trap, which you saw play out in Jigsaw.
So I kept thinking that he's kind of like a really twisted vigilante.
That's right. You're correct.
Right?
That's exactly what's going on.
Right.
Now, the first film was great because you had no idea what was going on, and the ending was a super surprise. So it was so great. Then it fell into that sequel mania because the first film was made for like...
It was like... It didn't make like $500 million.
Yeah, and the first film was made for $1 million. Yeah. It was like dirt cheap.
Crazy.
Right. So there were 7 of these things, and I forget it. I couldn't even watch them after a while because it was the same stuff every time. So once again, they went back, and now they're doing another series under the name of Jigsaw.
Is it the same guy who plays Jigsaw?
And it's the same Jigsaw. Same guy who plays Tobin Bell plays Jigsaw.
So is he in all of them?
Yes.
Okay.
For what I know, he might not be in one or something, but he makes a guest appearance in pretty much all of them. So anyway, this is another continuation of that. There's a couple of clever twists in this movie that I'm not going to give away when you're watching it. But once again, it's 5 people put together that have all done something nasty. I think one woman killed her baby. And that's not giving too much away. So what we basically get are a bunch of traps over the 90 minutes or however long this movie plays out.
Right.
And once again, though, it was made for like under $10 million or something, and it made a ridiculous amount of money.
Well,
again,
I mean, considering I didn't really know anybody in this movie, any of the actors,
and there weren't any major actors in the movie either. No. And it was actually directed by 2 brothers, the Spierig brothers, which I've never heard of. It took 2 guys to direct this movie, which is also pretty interesting. It's gory. It's kind of grotesque at points. There's some blood. There's an autopsy that you'll never forget if you see it, because it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
they take a bucket off a guy's head, and his head is sheared in half, essentially, which shows everything. It's kind of cool, but it depends. If you're a horror film person, it's kind of cool.
You don't really want to be eating dinner when you watch that,
and you definitely don't want to see it in 4K, which I watched it in, which is interesting.
So, did you watch it by yourself, or did your kid watch it too?
I watched it by myself.
Okay.
My kid's getting really picky on horror films now because he doesn't like everything. So, all right. Anyway, so any thoughts on the film without giving away too many? The fact that you had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really gory.
Right.
There were times where I just was like, okay, this is gonna get really, really crazy,
right?
Because there were times where I thought it was gonna be like brutal torture,
right?
And then it ends up being something else, and you're sort of like, for a second you're like, whew, okay, and then it's like, oh no, no, why did you do that?
Well, that's the perfect reaction.
I know, but it's
when you watch one of these films.
I know. It definitely left an impression.
Okay,
let's
good.
Put it that way. It was.
So the 4K version of the film, there's a Dolby Atmos sound mix, which of course really brings some of the traps and torture devices into play, because you'll hear the chains a little more than you want to, the chainsaws, the saw blades rotating, the rusted gears twisting, all that kind of stuff. Okay, so the extras,
the 7-part.
Yeah, there's an optional commentary track with 3 of the producers who have been on all the Saw films. So that's pretty interesting, because they're talking about the entire franchise, not just what they're doing
Think
here.
about how rich these guys are.
Oh, it's
from this franchise alone.
But I'm telling you, the little amount of money they can spend in this movie and get that kind of return is stunning. And Jigsaw is often right up there with like Freddy and
I'm surprised they haven't tried to do like a Freddy versus Jigsaw.
Freddy versus Leatherface versus Jigsaw or something like that.
Or Jason versus Jigsaw.
Right. They might.
Why don't they just do like the Avengers of like horror characters, put them all together
to battle,
and just have them go after people.
Right.
How horrible would that be?
Would be pretty cool.
It would be amazing.
Right.
I mean, it would destroy. By the way, if that comes out, I'm going to sue.
That's right.
I'm suing because
you got it on tape.
I'm going to put it out there as a recording.
That's right.
Put all these bad characters. Even Ghostface from Scream. You got to get him in there too with his knives.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the guy from Halloween?
Michael Myers.
Right.
Yeah. I'd like to see Mike Myers and Michael Myers together.
That may never. Whatever happened to Mike Myers?
He was in Inglourious Bastards.
That's right, for a second.
And they said he was doing another Austin Powers.
And then I haven't heard from him since.
He does.
I thought he was doing a Keith Moon film, the drummer from The Who, autobiography.
So did I.
Okay.
Because he's really into him. I know that he did the SNL 40, where he played, Wayne Campbell, but not a lot.
Wait, he was on SNL also as Dr. Evil.
Recently, yes, that's right. Recently.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're off topic. So anyway, you also get a 7-part, 90-minute long overview of the film, and I was hoping that it would talk more about the Saw franchise, but they spend way too much time kissing their butts on how great this film is. So, Now, the only thing interesting on that entire overview is I don't know if you even noticed some of the music in this film. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who does it talks about how he made the music for this film for about, 8 to 10 minutes. And it's really cool the way he shows you how he was using these different metallic instruments and bows to create these weird sounds.
Again, they're getting like... They're getting fringe actors, fringe people to... I mean, that's why it's $10 million.
Right.
Because they've figured it out well.
Well, they don't need.
No.
Why would they? Anyway, I'm sure there will be another Saw, Jigsaw, or whatever they call it, because it's too easy not to make one of these.
Yeah.
Right? You just do it. It's nothing.
Jigsaw versus Pennywise.
Jigsaw versus Pennywise would be great. So anyway, I'm giving it, once again, a B-. It was okay.
I'll go with that.
You got to be a fan.
I don't have a benchmark of the others in the series.
Comparing it to the first one, which would be an A+. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely tired. All right.
So speaking of horror.
Good.
So
yes.
I saw something on the internet that apparently has been circulating around, and I don't think it's fake. I think it's like legitimately people are trying to figure this out. There is apparently some people on the Walking Dead / Fear the Walking Dead, whether they're the writers or the producers or whomever, that have not confirmed but also have not denied that The Walking Dead takes place in the same universe as Breaking Bad.
Really? How much time do you have to have on your hands?
That apparently they think that Daryl and Merle were selling Blue Sky.
Yeah.
The blue meth, and that
that triggered the apocalypse.
No, but the Walt's son owns a red sports car for a while, and then it gets impounded, and then Glenn is driving it in the first season.
Come on.
And that apparently in the first season they walked by a bag of blue sky on the ground. And
have you confirmed any of this?
I mean, some of it seems
Is
legit.
it true? Have you looked?
I mean,
have they shown any video clips?
Yeah, there's stills that have been put to it.
Right.
I find that really hard to believe. Somebody said, well, is it possible that, because of the potency of Walt's meth, that it created the apocalypse? And I would say probably not.
Are there any producers or executive producers crossing over on both these shows? I don't think there are.
No.
Writers, anything?
But they're not denying it either. They've been asked point blank, and they're like, maybe.
Well, why would they deny that? That's like free publicity.
It does seem weird.
Right. That's free publicity.
I guess.
Right?
I guess. I don't know. I choose to believe that's not the case. Partially because Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul are amazing, and The Walking Dead has tanked, in my opinion. And I kind of hope that they...
I believe Gimpo's been replaced.
Really?
Have you read that yet?
No.
Okay, once again, unprepared.
No, I guess...
I got to look that up.
I'm a little out of The Walking Dead just because
I just saw it pass by.
So here's the question. If they replace him, do they...
Or he might have been promoted. It might have been the Peter principle. You know what I mean?
Well, my question is that we know that Carl was bitten.
Right.
So could he be like patient 0 where he's immune to it and keep him around? That would be an interesting twist.
Scott Gimple replaced as showrunner.
By Kirkman?
I don't know. Oh, I don't want to go to YouTube. We'll just have to read up and find out and explain what happened here.
So, yeah, I mean, do you think that, because, you were sent something about a petition going on, a change.org petition that we talked about a couple episodes ago that people wanted him removed.
Gimple's being kicked upstairs at AMC. See? Peter principle.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we were complaining about it. Right?
I've complained about this entire season.
Right.
I mean, it started out overly brutal. That first episode where they're back,
right?
With Negan,
Angela King, the writer Angela King, is replacing him as showrunner.
That's interesting.
He's been moved into a brand new position as chief content officer. Where have I heard that before?
Really?
Yeah. It was created especially for Gimple.
That would make her the first showrunner, first female showrunner, I think. Oh, wouldn't that be great if they actually didn't kill him off? That would be an awesome twist. If all of a sudden Carl became...
But how are you going to do that?
Now he's got to be protected.
Because he's ground...
Because he's
you're way too creative, because that would be fun.
It would be amazing, wouldn't it? Because then it would be this attempt to try to kidnap him all the time.
Right.
And use him for ransom. That would be awesome.
Right.
I don't know. I get so frustrated with this season. And you know what? I really appreciate TV shows that run a 5 and done.
Yeah.
5, 6 seasons. They've got an arc. They've got a plan. They're going to end it. I appreciate that. And I really wish they would
end it.
Stop it. Spin it off. Do something else. But at the end of the day.
They did spin it off.
I know. That's terrible. Fear the Walking Dead. I can't believe the Morgan character is going over to that show.
Permanently?
He's not on The Walking Dead, apparently.
Where'd he go? How did he get...
Unless he's doing both.
Right. Okay.
Watching anything good?
Yeah, Shameless.
Still watching it?
I am on board with Shameless. Got through season 7 last night.
Wow.
It's awesome.
It
is one of my favorite shows ever.
I'm still pretty high on the X-Files. I'm glad they've done some stuff. People are a little miffed about the quirkiness of it, but I don't think they really remember that was a lot of what the X-Files was this quirky
right.
sort of conspiracy theory style stuff. Really into it.
Good.
So, yeah, I'm excited for that. And Better Call Saul's coming soon. So is Fargo.
That's right. Who's in Fargo this year?
I don't think they've said yet, but that one's happening. And also, Stranger Things has already started production.
And everyone's really excited about Black Panther, supposedly. That's supposed to be
think?
a super duper duper plooper mega hit. We'll see.
I wonder why. Is it just a good movie, or is there a reason for it?
I don't know.
Is Iron Man in it?
I have no idea. And just everyone, so that everyone keeps saying this, he is not the first black superhero who made it big in the movies. Okay? Blade.
I wish there were more.
Wesley Snipes.
I wish there were more Blade movies.
The second Blade was one of the best movies I've ever seen in that genre.
Don't discount the first one, though.
I don't, but I'm just saying.
That second one.
I saw the first one in a theater, actually.
The
second one was
so good.
Guillermo del Toro was unbelievable.
What'd you think of the third one?
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Parker Posey was just annoying.
Yeah.
It could have been better. Ryan Reynolds was in that one, wasn't he?
Yes. And I feel like Wesley and all of his tax issues
gave up.
I feel like they need to get him back.
Yeah, I would.
Can you imagine like Blade Reborn?
Yeah.
Again, if the title comes out with Blade Reborn, you heard it here first. We're suing.
He would fit in the Doctor Strange universe in a minute. He'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So,
come on, man.
We'll see.
But then you got to have vampires.
I think they could figure that out. Morbius, the vampire.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Yeah. I mean, then again, they're remaking Tomb Raider for no apparent reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Frustrated with that. Although, there is a trailer that I think maybe it hit today. No, it's hitting Super Bowl. Mission Impossible Fallout. That's the one where Cruise shattered his ankle doing his stunt. I think it's going to be amazing.
And still no Han Solo trailer. What
are you thinking?
Is going on?
What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Think they're going to have to reshoot the whole movie?
No. I don't know.
I feel like this is a Back to the Future situation where the lead...
It's either there's a big problem or Disney's just starting to allow things to percolate because it keeps people complaining and thinking about it.
I have read on multiple sites, credible sites, that the lead actor is not very good.
Right.
So do they pull a Michael J. Fox like they did on Back to the Future and reshoot all of the scenes with him in it, which would be practically the whole movie? But do they scrap it and start over?
I don't know.
I mean, I know that Ron Howard keeps saying, I know, it's coming, it's great, it's really good, but I don't know.
What did they do in Back to the Future?
Who was the original guy that was supposed
you're kidding me. They had an original actor for Back to the Future, and then they didn't like him, and they bailed and put
Michael J. Fox
in. Wow.
Yeah,
I think I would know that.
What is his name? Google it, folks, because I don't remember.
Google it. Paul Rubens.
Pee-wee? No. That would be impressive. There's actually footage of it. There's footage.
Wow.
There is footage of he and Christopher Lloyd
really
together, and it doesn't work.
Wow.
Compared to what they did, I mean, because this was
that's interesting.
Yeah. It was they were halfway through the movie.
Wow.
And they had to reshoot everything. And even Christopher Lloyd talked about it. He's like, I thought this was going to be a real problem, but Michael J. Fox came in and hit the ground running, and it was just a very different movie, and it was kind of awesome to work together, and it made it a lot of fun.
Wow.
But the other guy, again, Google his name, I don't remember, but
okay,
there it is. So I guess go Patriots.
Sure
Enough.
We'll see what happens.
And you know what? If the Patriots lose, go Philly.